Welcome back to another episode where we dive into games that resonate with the chilling, action-packed feeling of Doom 3. For our fourth spot, we're taking an unconventional approach by delving into not one, but two games from the same franchise, F.E.A.R and its sequel, Project Origin. While the first F.E.A.R generally received more favorable reviews from players, choosing between the two games for this comparison with Doom 3 was a challenging task. Each game has its merits and drawbacks, making it difficult to favor one over the other definitively. Ultimately, we opted for a dual review, recognizing that the sequel owes its existence to the groundwork laid by its predecessor. Next, we continue our exploration with The Suffering, a versatile title that masterfully balances action and survival elements while allowing for both first and third-person perspectives. While The Suffering is a phenomenal gaming experience, it's worth noting that getting it to run smoothly on modern PCs can be a challenging task. But rest assured, once you overcome these technical hurdles, the game delivers an incredible horror action experience that's well worth the effort. Number 4. F.E.A.R. Okay, let's get something straight. F.E.A.R was downright terrifying back in 2005. At the time of its release, the game's cutting-edge graphics, intelligent AI, and innovative gameplay mechanics created an atmosphere that was as captivating as it was horrific for its time. Although it may not pack the same punch today due to advancements in technology and evolving audience expectations, it's important to remember the groundbreaking impact it had. The scares were real, and for many, it served as a cornerstone experience in video game horror. While both Doom 3 and F.E.A.R often leave you isolated to face horrors on your own, F.E.A.R uniquely starts you off as part of a team, only to gradually strip that sense of security away. You play as the Point Man, a soldier with heightened reflexes, part of a special forces team sent to deal with a supernatural crisis.
These men are from F.E.A.R. They're special attachments to our unit for the duration of this arc.
Your mission is to stop Paxton Fettel, a psychic commander who has gone rogue and telepathically controlled clone soldiers. As you delve deeper into the Armacom Technology Corporation's facilities, it becomes evident that the situation is far more complicated and sinister than it initially appeared. You encounter unsettling visions and phenomena, largely connected to a mysterious girl named Alma. Throughout the game, players will gradually piece together bits of information about Alma's tragic and enigmatic background, mainly through audio logs, flashbacks, and eerie visions.
I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
In F.E.A.R 2 Project Origin, the game starts with a sequence that overlaps with the ending of the first F.E.A.R game. This time, you take on the role of Michael Beckett, a Delta Force operator who is sent on a mission to arrest Genevieve Aristide approximately 30 minutes before the ending of the first game.
Our job is to secure the site and take her into custody.
Protective custody. I don't want any breakage, even if she resists.
The game begins with some routine military operations, but quickly turns into a chaotic and horrific ordeal. Alma, the eerie, psychic girl from the first game, returns and is now an adult, her presence more terrifying than ever. The sequel offers players a more diverse set of environments to explore. The variety of nightmarish enemies also adds a welcome change, providing a refreshing contrast to the more uniform adversaries of the first installment. Both F.E.A.R and Doom 3 excels at eliciting genuine fear through a concoction of meticulously designed elements. Unsettling environments, pervasive darkness, blood-soaked scenes, disorienting soundscapes, and sporadic flashes of haunting visions. It also doesn't shy away from the occasional jump scare to keep you on your toes. The game really shines in its scariest levels, where all these elements converge to create a palpable sense of dread. Whether you're navigating dimly lit corridors filled with ominous echoes or suddenly encountering a gruesome tableau, F.E.A.R consistently keeps the tension high. The combination of modern trappings with tried-and-true horror techniques makes for an experience that is as psychologically unsettling as it is viscerally thrilling. While they are steeped in horror, both Doom 3 and the F.E.A.R series don't skimp on action. Both games ensure that you're not just running and hiding, but also taking the fight to the enemy. They each utilize confined, maze-like environments to increase tension and suspense. Each game also used lighting as a tool for storytelling, utilizing sharp contrasts between light and shadow to create tense, visually engaging scenes that enhance the scariness of their respective worlds. The human enemies in the F.E.A.R series and demonic creatures in Doom diverge significantly in both design and behavior. In Doom 3, you're predominantly pitted against demonic creatures from hell, raging beasts that charge at you without a second thought, hell-bent on destruction. They operate on pure instinct, without any apparent fear of death. In contrast, the adversaries in the F.E.A.R series are often highly trained soldiers who employ tactics and strategies. They take cover, flank you, and even communicate with each other to try to take you down. This behavior reflects a sort of self-preservation instinct, making them appear more human and, in some ways, more unnerving. The contrast serves to highlight the unique atmospheres of each game. Doom 3 leans into relentless, primal horror, while F.E.A.R offers a more psychological, tactical challenge. Both games are fundamentally straightforward in their approach. They don't demand complex strategizing or intricate problem-solving. These are simple, action-packed experiences that deliver high-octane combat without asking for much in return. Perfect for those looking to engage in some uncomplicated yet thrilling gameplay. Number 3. The Suffering. Silent protagonist? Check. Jump scares that'll make you jump out of your skin? Double check. An evil doctor stirring the pot? Oh, you better believe that's a check. Hell breaking loose with nightmarish monsters right from the start? Mega check. Although both games appear to check all the boxes for a classic horror action experience, they each offer unique twists on the genre, making them distinct yet intriguingly similar. Released in 2004, The Suffering offer a unique blend of action and survival horror, originally developed for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and later for PC. Much like the premise of Callisto Protocol, The Suffering plunges players into the sinister depths of a maximum security prison known as Abbott State Penitentiary. You take on the role of Torque, an inmate convicted of murdering his family, although he has no memory of the crime.
Inmate, is this true?
Oh, he won't say. Claims he blacked the whole thing out.
The game takes a dark turn when the prison is suddenly overrun by monstrous creatures, freeing Torque and other inmates. With an arsenal of weapons at your disposal, you must fight your way through the prison's mutated inhabitants while also confronting your own inner demons. As you navigate through the chaos, the game presents a grim atmosphere, heightened by the haunting past of the prison itself and plagued by chilling visions of your deceased wife and child.
No! Daddy, no!
These echoes serve not only to unsettle you, but also to unravel key story elements, helping you piece together this dark narrative.
I think you only brought me suffering.
I've been creating creatures and characters for film for the past 30 years.
Throughout the game, players encounter a variety of monstrous enemies, each symbolizing a different method of death. For example, the Slayer, one of the most common threats, represents death by decapitation. They are a fearsome sight with blades replacing their arms, agile, capable of moving on walls and ceilings, and disturbingly quick. Another example is the Marksman, who represents death by firing squad. They present a different kind of challenge, being more robust in terms of health and make larger targets for your weapons. Equipped with multiple guns on their backs, they'll force you into cover with their barrages, giving you narrow windows of opportunity to counterattack once their firing ceases. A further instance is the mainliners, the embodiment of lethal injections. Emerging from liquid in a swarm-like fashion, they are both unnerving and hazardous. Upon death, they leave behind acidic clouds that can damage you, and they have a habit of leaping at you to stab you with their needles. As you progress, more grotesque creatures are revealed, each with increasingly disturbing associations to forms of death. Although some encounters may initially seem repetitive, these monsters exhibit unique behaviors, ensuring that encounters remain interesting and action-packed. In addition to facing off against a menagerie of twisted monsters, you'll also encounter ghostly apparitions, inmates, and prison guards. The dynamic becomes even more interesting, as not all of these characters are hostile. Some can actually be persuaded to join your side and lend a helping hand in your nightmarish journey.
Just fodder, I'm afraid, and there's an eternal supply.
The game incorporates an intriguing choice mechanic. You're met with competing voices in your head from the get-go.
He needs your protection.
He's a parasite.
One advocating for reason and compassion, the other enticing you to commit heinous acts.
Calm down, T. Don't let your neighbor be so friendly.
He is a disgusting addict.
Each choice accumulates to influence one of several different endings, offering a nuanced look into the moral compass of your character.
Fuck you! Those are mine! Last words, you.
The game uniquely lets players toggle between third-person and first-person views, giving them the flexibility to adapt to different situations. The third-person perspective is particularly useful for melee combat and exploration, as it provides a broader field of view. It also allows players to execute a roll maneuver for quick dodging, a feature that's not available otherwise. Meanwhile, the first-person view can be invaluable for more precise aiming during ranged combat. It also provides a more up-close experience, immersing the player deeper into the game's action and horror, much like Doom 3. The Suffering provides players with an arsenal that includes everything from pistols and Tommy guns to shotguns and flamethrowers. While the game is generally generous with ammunition, it's worth noting that the grotesque enemies you'll encounter are not easily felled and can quickly deplete your ammo reserves. One of the most innovative aspects of The Suffering is the ability to transform into a monstrous form yourself. This transformation grants you immense power and a variety of devastating melee attacks. However, this power comes with its limitations. Its usage is time-sensitive, and notably, you can't regenerate health while in this form. Despite these drawbacks, the transformation is a great way to conserve ammunition and can be a game-changer in high-stakes battles. While Doom 3 relies heavily on its flashlight mechanic, The Suffering features a less mandatory yet equally atmospheric use of lighting. Both games revel in dark, ominous atmospheres and unsettling enemy designs. They each offer a blend of combat action and horror, complete with jump scares that keep players on their toes.
We didn't like them.
When it comes to psychological horror elements, the two games differ significantly. Doom 3 focuses on cosmic horror, a fear of the unknown and the incomprehensible, often employing darkness and mysterious otherworldly entities. On the other hand, The Suffering goes for a more personal approach, tying its monstrosities to various forms of human suffering and methods of execution, providing a different but equally impactful psychological experience.
So I did a lot of color design, I did a lot of refining of existing characters.
The Suffering's graphics were a product of their time, fitting but not groundbreaking. The game was never about pushing the envelope in terms of graphical fidelity. It was about delivering a chilling, unique experience that melded action and horror in unforgettable ways. Judged within the context of its contemporaries, it held its own. While times have changed, and perhaps our imaginations aren't as vivid as they once were, there's an enduring quality to these games that tugs at the heartstrings. Those initial moments of sheer terror and excitement are etched into our past, making us feel a sense of nostalgia and comfort whenever we revisit these memorable titles. That brings us to the end of our 5th episode. If you found this intriguing, you won't want to miss our conclusion to this series. We'll be unveiling the 2 games that we believe come the closest to capturing that elusive Doom 3 feeling. Thank you for joining us today. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Until next time.